It's tea time. I am so excited to take you through the sequence of my day because my day felt so ridiculous. I'm sure that there are days far more ridiculous than mine was today, but just in terms of trying to get something done and consistently failing, felt a little ridiculous. And now that it's over, it's like super over. It's 1 a.m. at this point. Now that it's super over, I'm jazzed to tell you about it from beginning to end. Also, if you hear some chirping every now and then, I will explain that in the story. Beginning, of course, with when I woke up. Because I woke up at 7, which was super exciting. Because that's the time that I wanted to wake up, so that I could maybe get all of my work done in the morning. That was the plan. I was like, I'm going to get news done in the morning, because then I can go to J-Town with a couple of my friends because they really want to work on Decoden projects, and then I can learn how to do Decoden, and that would be super awesome. And then, later on, I can get dinner with Krender. That was the plan for the day. Because every time Krender's in town, we go to ramen. And this time, we decided that we were going to go to a place that we've never been before, which was very exciting. Very exciting. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Wake up at 7, right? The cats are all around. And then suddenly it's 11:30. Huh? Apparently I fell back to sleep. And the only reason that I woke up, I never sleep in that late. Like, rarely when I'm exhausted do I sleep in that late. So it's very strange that that happened. But the only reason that I woke up is because of the chirping. Because of the chirping from the smoke alarm. Which, of course, means that the battery is almost dead or low. Whatever. But I don't have any 9-volt batteries. I had just bought batteries. I was super excited. I had bought AAAs and AAs. And I was like, cool, I'm ready. I'm ready for when anything dies. Turns out the next thing that needed a battery, since I bought batteries, was the thing that needs a 9-volt. So that sucked. So the chirping is going on and on and on, driving me absolutely insane. And I think to myself, well, I guess work can wait a little bit, and I'll go to the grocery store because I have no food in the house. I have not been eating very much at all because every time I get hungry, I go in the kitchen and I'm like, oh, there's nothing here. So I put together a list of the essentials, the things that I just don't have. And then I write down batteries, cat food, all those things. I leave and go to the grocery store. They have all of the batteries locked up in a big cage, which I guess is standard now. I haven't bought batteries from a grocery store in a while. The last time that I bought batteries, it was from an electronics store, and they were like, batteries, whatever, here you go. Here's a wall of batteries, and yes, you can take any of them that you want. So that's what I was expecting. That was not the case at the grocery store. So I stood in line because every person that was just hanging out there, working in the aisles, none of them apparently could open up the battery cabinet. I was like, what is this? So I had to stand in the customer service line, which is fine. It would have been a lot more fine if there weren't like 5 really old people also in line who weren't exactly sure what they were trying to get. Like, they were asking very weird, vague questions, and the guy behind the counter was like, uh-huh, what? It was hilarious. So by the time I finally got up there, the guy was like, I'm so sorry for the wait. What can I do for you? And I was like, I just need a battery. All I need is a battery. And he was like, oh, I'm so sorry. So we go over to the little cabinet. He pulls out batteries. I'm like, thank you. So jazzed. I get 2 of them just in case one's dying, right? Get all my groceries. Do all of that. Finally go to Coinstar because I've been collecting coins for like 3 years and finally turned them all in. And then came home. So excited. I now have food. I can now make the chirping stop. And I was going to be able to talk to Sam, which I hadn't talked to Sam in like a couple of days. And I was very excited about that. So I get home. Sam's not quite ready to talk. He's still, hanging out with fam. I was like, that's totally fine. I'm going to fix the smoke alarm, put all the groceries away, and then I open up my little 9-volt battery. I'm like, oh yeah. Put it in the smoke detector, close it up, and then wait. And I'm sure you know the end of this story. It continues to chirp. So I go online, and I'm like, maybe there's something else that I need to do. So I'm like, put in a new battery, smoke alarm keeps chirping, blah, blah, blah. And everybody was like, oh, you need to hold down the test button for 15 seconds. And I was like, all right, I can do that. So I take the battery out, hold down the test button for 15 seconds, which, by the way, nearly made me deaf. Put the battery back in, close it up, and then wait. And of course, they say it'll chirp one last time, but that's it. So, like, that last chirp happens, and I'm like, oh, okay, is it going to chirp again? It's not, right? Because I did everything that I was told to do. It's not going to chirp. It's never going to chirp again. Never, ever. And then it chirped again. So then I go back online. I'm like, what do I do? And everybody's saying, okay, if that didn't work, then it means that it pulls mostly from the electricity, like the wires, not the battery, which means that you have to shut all the breakers off, then take out the battery, then press the test button, put the battery back in, close it back up, and then turn the breaker back on. And I was like, okay. So I go out there, I do all of that. Same exact story. I'm waiting, bated breath, still chirping. So by the time I finally talked to poor Sam, I was like, this smoke detector and all this, and I don't know what to do, and it's so frustrating, it just keeps chirping. He was like, uh-huh. Once I got it all out, we were able to actually, like, talk. But at the very beginning of the conversation, I was like, I'm sorry, I just need to vent really quick about this stupid smoke alarm because I'm so irritated. And he was like, go for it, which was very sweet of him. So, yeah, got to talk to Sam for a while. All the while, there's chirping going on in the background, which is obnoxious. But I managed to kind of, like, shut myself up in the bedroom and, put a pillow over my head with the phone. And I was like, I don't think I can hear it anymore. I felt like a crazy person. But then I decide, you know what? This is just not, this chirping is going to keep happening. So I'm just going to make news. Like, I just need to. By this point, by the way, it's like 1:30, 2 o'clock-ish. My day just, like, flew by. So then I'm like, okay, I need to make news. Like, I need to make news right now. So I'm setting everything up. I'm setting up my lights. And the lights won't turn on. Neither of them will. And I'm like, oh, cool. Is this outlet busted? Because that's exactly what I want to have happen right now. It turns out that outlet is not working anymore. The one that's in my hallway that I've been using for my lights. So the hallway appeared to be very dark. And then it was me trying to daisy chain like weird power strips that belong in other places, but I was like, I guess I'll put them back later. I just gotta turn these lights on somehow. So I turn all the lights on, finally. And then I'm recording news. Meanwhile, the chirping is happening. Also, I've had hiccups on and off all day. So the whole time that I'm recording, every now and then I get hiccups and I have to just stop for a while and just, like, hold my breath. Make the hiccups go away. Because otherwise I can't get through any topics. So I finally finish it. You guys. And by that point, I'm like, all right, I can throw this into Premiere and probably get it done before Dinner with Krender. Dinner with Krender happened at 6, and it was also with Happily Erin and her husband David. So I was like, okay, I can do this. So I'm trying to transfer over the files. They're taking forever, or at least they feel like they're taking forever because I'm in a rush, more of a rush than I normally am. So I'm just like, why is this taking so long? So then I finally get it into Premiere, and every clip is, like, lagging to extremes. This has never happened to me before, where I, like, try to edit something and every time I press play, like, the video is all distorted and the sound is awful. And I was like, oh my God, are my files corrupt? Like, please don't tell me that after all that, the video files were all messed up. Please don't tell me that. So then I'm messing around for a while, and eventually I realize, oh my God, it's time to go. I have to go. It's time to go. So I leave. I go get ramen, which was delicious, by the way. It was so good. Go get ramen. Come back. And then I finally found a dude who was like, yo, you need to just render your files. And I was like, is it that simple? Because no one else has suggested that. So I render the files, and guess what? It works perfectly. And I was like, really? It's such a simple fix, and everybody was like, oh man, it sounds like you need to update all of your drivers. And I was like, okay. So I went through and all of my drivers were up to date, and I was like, so then I finally get news done. And now I'm uploading it. And now I'm like, it's 1 in the morning. How did this happen? Like, how am I this person? I don't understand. I don't understand. How this day just, like, got away from me. Like, got away from me to such extremes that it's now 1 in the morning. And I'm like, what did I do today? Like, I tried to do a lot, but what did I actually do? I will say, though, okay, for any of you who are like foodies and love ramen, there's a new place on Hollywood and La Brea called Shinya. And so I suggested that we go there because we had never been there before. None of us had been there before. And I was like, this will be a fun adventure. We should go to Shinya. Shinya replaced an old dip ramen place. I've actually never been to dip ramen. I don't understand the difference between regular ramen and dip ramen. And I really, like, as a ramen lover, I should really try out dip ramen. Do you have a bag that I need to take from you? Yep, sounds like it. I'll do it later. But yeah, they replaced this old dip ramen place. And it was pretty good. They have really good, just like, basic ramen. I would say that Takara still has the best broth, but I really liked their basic ramen. It tasted really good. And the parking lot was awful. I had like 5 Armenian dudes, 5 just huge Armenian dudes at this restaurant trying to help me get out of this parking lot because I couldn't get out at first because one of like the butts of one of their cars was sticking out enough that I couldn't get past it. And so the guy moved his car, but he like waited for me to get out so that he could just take my spot so that he wouldn't be blocking people in anymore. And I like started to pull out and then got nervous and was like, I don't know where to go. Oh my God, I don't know where to go. And so I just pulled back in and he was like, you okay? I was like, I don't know how to get out of here. And so then it was like all of these huge dudes just like, all right, turn, keep coming. I was like, by the time I finally got out there, I was like, thank you. Apparently, because I managed to get a spot, but David and Aaron and them couldn't. So they wound up going to a garage that I guess was really close by. So if you ever come and you can't find a spot, there's apparently a garage really close by on Hollywood. But oh my goodness, I was just... It's like, thank you. They were all very sweet, but you could tell they also had this, like, has this girl driven in her life? Sort of subtext to everything they were doing. They were like, do you understand how cars work? Meanwhile, I'm like, I don't know how cars work. I don't understand. I still get very confused. If I get flustered enough, it's like my mind completely blanks out on, like, what turning a car does. Does that make any sense at all? Like in what ways can you turn and be totally secure in knowing you won't hit anything? And in what ways can you be turning and realize that there's a possibility that your car is going to hit? Like, in those situations, I second guess myself every time, and typically I'm wrong. And everybody's like, you could have just kept driving. And I'm like, no, I don't think so. I don't think that's true. Every now and then I think that I should just take driver's ed. I never took driver's ed because we lived in the country and I didn't really need it. But I feel like driver's ed is really necessary when you live in the city because they teach you how to do things like parallel park. I'm the worst parallel parker in the world. Like, having a backup camera now has been a godsend, but every time I'm like, God, I love this backup camera. Sam's like, yeah, but when you have a car that doesn't have that anymore, you're gonna be so screwed because you're relying on it so much. And I'm like, I know, but can I just enjoy it now? I just want to enjoy it right now because it's just so great. But yeah. So I took out all my feelings on Twitter for the most part today. I thought about a lot of anime that I wished I was watching. I was like, if I had just gotten all of this done this morning, I could be sitting here working on an I Tried. and watching anime. That would have been cool. That would have been a great way to end my day. But it's not. But at the same time, I don't feel like my day was bad at all. It was just one of those days where I look back and I'm like, what? Today was a weird day. Today was just a weird day, and the chirping is still going, and I don't know what to do to get rid of it. Everybody's like, maybe you just need to replace the smoke alarm. That's such an asshole. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I guess just like turning off the breaker and unplugging it, right? But then what if my apartment catches fire? Then what am I supposed to do? Bleh. Oh well, I'll figure it out. I don't want to turn all the breakers off like today though, because now it's dark. Now it's like real dark. Like if I can just sleep through it for one night and then do it in the morning. God, I waited too long. I waited too long to do all of this. Oh well. Anywho, I'm wide awake, so I'm probably gonna stay up for a while longer. That's not a good idea because then I'll probably sleep in until 11 again. But A, there's a possibility that I could talk to Sam again, which would be nice because we didn't get to really talk all that much. And then B, I can just like chill and watch anime for just like an hour. Like that would be nice. I'd like that. I'd appreciate that. I'd like that. But anywho, I hope that you guys have had an amazing day, and I will talk to you again tomorrow. Okay, bye-bye. Mwah.